everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success talk show. I am your host, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway. I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. It is a business where I support women and organizations to achieve professional success by working with them on their impact and their images, focusing on ABCDs: appearance, behaviors, communication, and digital presence. I am a professional keynote speaker. I am an author of 3 books. That's right, 3 books out there right now for you to look at, find out more information. I got 2 of them right here, plus my book here that you all have seen here while we've been on the show. And it's all about personal branding because I am your personal brand expert. I am your image consultant. I am also a United States Air Force veteran of 30 years. And so tonight on this show, y'all, I have a SLAYMAZING guest with me. And I just want to make sure that we all get prepared and we get ready because we are going to have a full conversation tonight. All right. So I have my cup here, my choice of beverage, which is water. I got water because it was hot as I will get out today, and I was out there walking. And so I'm just cooling down after my evening walk. So I got my water, but whatever beverage that you have on hand, go ahead and get that. And when you come in, y'all, please make sure you represent your name, where you're tuning in from, and, just give us a little love, okay? We just need a little love every now and again. We just want to make sure you are here and you're excited as I am about this conversation that we're going to get ready to have. So the purpose of this talk show, y'all, is to bring in men and women who are living a life on their own terms, and they are using the slay philosophies to make a positive impact on this world. And you want to know what slay means? Okay, here we are again. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym, y'all, right? Because I just couldn't just stick with the SLAY. So the SLAY stands for life and leadership philosophies that really resonate with me the most, and they are truly my core values. Stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, a sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. So thank you for coming on here. Madame is in the building. Good evening, Florida. And it was 99 degrees there. Believe me, okay? I know that warm weather for some people is not good, but for me, I love warm weather. I just need to make sure I cool down before I come on the show. So thank you, Madame Leslie, for being with us live here tonight, because you could have chose anywhere else to be, but you decided to be with us in the conversation. All right, because Mosaic Inc. is going to be representing tonight. That's what we're doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just share with you who we have here tonight. All right, now my guest is my friend and my mentor. I have people that I look up to and I'm inspired by, and she is definitely one of them. We got an opportunity to meet in person for the very first time a few weeks ago, and her name is Shirley Ann Felder. Now, Shirley isn't your typical entrepreneur. She's a visionary leader with over 3 decades of experience in the garbage and recycling industry. Yet her expertise extends far beyond waste management. She's a maestro at decluttering lives and helping others reclaim their potential. As a focused and organized high-performance and inspirational leader, Shirley specializes in aligning clients with her unique abilities, skills, and passion. She's akin to a soul recycling expert, guiding individuals to unearth buried aspirations and overcome self-sabotage. Not only is Shirley an Amazon #1 best-selling author, all right, y'all noticing a trend here. Most of the people that I'm bringing on the show, we about the business, okay? And so I'm bringing you high quality individuals so that we can be learning and growing and be inspired by. But she's also Not only is she a best-selling author, she's a comedian, she's an MC, she's a keynote presenter, and she seamlessly blends humor and insight to captivate audiences worldwide. Her engaging style and quick wit make her an unforgettable presence on stage, whether as a master of ceremonies or delivering inspiring keynotes. She's got groundbreaking workshops where she's guiding clients through a journey from childhood to present, transforming past struggles into stepping stones for success. She's reframing narratives and beliefs, and she is empowering her clients to craft powerful professional mantras and purpose statements for their lives. And I know this is to be true because I got my passion purpose statement from her, from attending one of her workshops. Now, under her mentorship, clients not only unlock their true potential, but also embrace authenticity and purpose. Like a master recycler, she turns doubts and fears into catalysts for growth and empowerment. Her mission is to use humor as a tool for delivering authentic messages, motivating and inspiring people to cultivate strong relationships and self love. And drawing from her own adversities, she offers a candid, no nonsense approach infused with humor and honesty. Her refreshing perspective resonates with those seeking genuine transformation, even if it means challenging the status quo. She acknowledges she's not everyone's cup of tea, y'all, but for those who are ready to embrace the change, she is a transformational, inspirational coach, and her insights are invaluable. So put your hands together. Okay. Hey, Kim. I see you too. Thank you for so much for being here tonight. So put y'all hands together for my friend, my mentor, Coach Shirley Ann. Oh, I can't hear you.
Because I muted myself.
Oh, see, we can't have you muted now. We
Listen,
just can't have
who,
you muted.
who was you describing just now? Who that? Who that?
That's you. That's all of you. Okay. And then you know how we are. We believe in giving people their flowers
Absolutely.
when they're here because, some people will talk about us after the fact. And we need to hear like all the amazing things that we have done in our lives. So you are a firecracker. You are a phenomenal and incredible woman who has done so many things that people would not even imagine, right? And it is just crazy. But we met, y'all. So for everybody's here, we met through an app, and we met before we got onto Clubhouse. We actually met on Wisdom one day. She asked me to come on the Wisdom app, which was, during COVID, y'all. They had all these apps that were going on that they developed to keep people connected. And we had a conversation about life and what I was doing, what she was doing, all the things. She was asking me all these questions, and it was just absolutely amazing. And so from there, that's been 3 years ago. Okay.
Time flies, boy.
Time flies. It's been 3 years, and now we are here. We saw each other 3 weeks ago or so, a few weeks ago. We had a great lunch, and now we're here on the show. So please introduce yourself, Coach Shirley Ann, on who you are, what's going on, and what's happening.
Well, first, I don't know if I can outdo the introduction you already gave, but here's the simple fact that I am an ordinary woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to get along in life. And I believe that we weren't put here to make this life as hard as we've been doing it, right?
Yeah.
And we've watched through our ancestors in the history that we keep evolving, but there's some things we keep repeating. And someone has to have some solutions for that.
Yeah.
I got them. And so what I believe is that I don't believe that we can have anything in the world we want, right? Because I know that there's some things I can't have. Like I can't have a size 4 waistline because I like Twinkies and I like food, right? So
Right.
those aren't the things that I can have. But there are things that we can control in our lives. And our main thing is happiness. And it doesn't mean that we're just laughing and everything is perfect, but that we are okay and that there's answers for everything that knows us, right? There's instinct and intuition. We have this thing. It's a magic potion. And here, when something comes our way, comes from us, right? There's nobody in the room with us. It
Nope.
comes from us. And we like, I don't know what that's about. That wasn't for me. Well, who was it for? Right? And we ignore it. And so
Yeah.
the thing is that I love helping women figure out that those messages you get, whether they are a physical sign of something, whether it's something you feel like, how do I know that? That's because it was already put in you. That's
Yeah.
because we carry ancestral things, right? And that's because everything we need, we have. We just got to keep doing the work. We can't just lay down like, woo, I've arrived. Because I could tell you a story about feeling like you've arrived and making some boo-boos. Been there. And I
Hmm.
only talk about what I've experienced or what other people have shared with me because I've been blessed to travel the world. I meet amazing people all over the world and they tell me their stories. And
Yeah.
just you think your life is so bad, you have to hear people in other countries because I will admit we are spoiled Americans. We
Yeah,
are
we are.
spoiled Americans. So for me, the basic goes back to what I do today, I do because of my mother. My mother's name is Maddie Mae Felder. She passed away in 1978, 1 month after I turned 12. And she died because she was told some things that weren't true. And some of us keep passing it on to our childrens, and we have to stop that, right?
Yeah.
And so she was told, find a man to love you. He'll take care of you. Life will be great. Stay at home, be the this, be the that. That's a work for them way back. But I say this in an analogy. If we used to have the bag phone, I don't know how many of y'all remember the
Mhm.
first cell phone, the bag phone, right?
My dad one. Hmm.
So we had the bag phone, then we had the Nokia phone, then we got the flip phone, now we got the smartphone, right? So if you talking to me in bag phone language and I got a smartphone, Houston, we have a problem,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So the things that worked back then, we've evolved from that. And if we haven't recognized that, we're not growing. We're stuck. People say, oh, we're stuck. I like the word constipated because nothing moving up or down, right or left. I like words that grab you right by the throat so you get the picture. No more
Right.
dressing up things, right? And so we have old thoughts that keep coming to us. Old things. We have to change. We have to grow. We have to stretch. We have to learn. Every day in history, we learn something new that we didn't know before, right?
Yeah.
That someone hid in the history. We learned that something we're eating came with some chemical products in it. We thought it was the best thing since sliced pie. So we have so much to learn that we just have to keep having an open mind
Yes.
and then have good
Yeah.
discernment and remember that we have instinct, intuition.
Yeah.
So, me, I like a little bit of vinegar in my words. So if it smells like poop, it's poop. Don't question,
Hmm.
don't
Yeah.
question that, right?
It is what it is.
If it quacks, it's a duck. But
Yeah.
don't do all the extra and always go to the fear factor. We're afraid of everything.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we spend our time worrying about things that will never happen. Oh, what if the people never become my friend? What if this group don't accept me? What if I don't get the job? How about what if you did? What if you did? Be prepared for that. Like you say, got to stay ready to be
Stay
ready.
ready to be ready. I am so like the mindset that you have and the way that you convey your message is so, colorful and it's very real. It's you could see it, you could feel it. And when people get just a taste of you, they're just like, I, the transformation is for real. Because I've heard you talk almost every day for the past 3 years. And the way that you speak about your mom and how she didn't have anyone for her, and the way that now you're so passionate about it. Like the journey has been, there has been a journey, right? And you talk specifically, and I want you to share with our audience about your time in the recycling garbage. you know, like how'd you get that? What would that look like initially? How did you learn from that? There was a lot of leadership lessons within that I would love for you to share. So let's just dive into that.
So we'll start with the garbage business. So, just like many of you out here listening today, you have made some bad choices in life, or let's say bad choice. We have made some choices that didn't go the way we thought they were going to go.
That's
You
right.
can either go left or right, right?
Yep.
One
Mm.
way is the right way. One way might not be the right way, but you can always get back on the right path. So I had a child at 21. I had a college scholarship, blew that, dropped out of college, got a few jobs, came back home. My brother was sick. He owned a garbage company. And I went to work in the local resort areas. And then I was doing collections for him on the side because now, I'm a single mama, got to hustle, working 2, 3 jobs, got to do what it takes. And then I had an opportunity to buy a garbage company
Yep.
from a nearby area in Narrowsburg, New York. So I bought out a guy named Ed Brennan there. And then me and my brother, like worked in conjunction. And then eventually I bought him out. And then I put the two together. The name of the company was Sullivan County First Recycling and Refuse. They were sexy purple garbage trucks. I wanted people to know that it wasn't my brother running it anymore. It wasn't a good old boy. Purple was a color of royalty and power. I was a Lakers fan always. So, purple was my color. And I also like, those Omega guys. That purple is hot and sexy.
Oh
So
Lord, here we go.
so I'm gonna go there. So purple was my thing, and so I chose the color purple so people would know distinctively that it wasn't some man running it, and we were going to do it differently. And
Yeah.
then with a woman's perspective, right? I looked at it as how I design my business, and you talk about branding and making sure people know when they walk in a room who's in there based on your color, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So people knew when they saw purple, it was the purple garbage truck lady. Some didn't even know my name, but it was the purple garbage truck lady, right? And so I even named it Sullivan County Recycling and Refuse. And so those acronyms had pretty, Leslie loves acronyms. So it was Shirley Can Fight Really Rough, right? Because I did our little mafia issue, right? Coming up from the city. And then it stood for Sullivan County First Recycling and Refuse, because I was the first woman-owned business to pick up garbage and recycling at the same time. So I had all these little unique things that I made that it was so different. The average guy, I'm talking average, he just, he's just gonna pull up his britches, go pick up garbage. My stuff was cute, right? And I thought of the person when you're thinking of your business, right? Because for me, I'm an entrepreneur to the core. I'm always thinking, I'm at
That's
a
right.
restaurant thinking how they could do something. I
Mm.
see something, I'm like, ooh, they could do that, right? So I always thinking with that entrepreneur mind. So when you're thinking about, if someone's listening to this tonight, you're thinking about your business, right? Or how you want to start something. You've been dreaming about this business or something. I wanted to say, how can people know that when they see the color or when they call my office, that they're going to get top-notch service, right? And so
Mm.
they saw the color, they saw it was, purple. So that was sexy right off the bat. Was a round shaped with a woman with her hand like this, with a lid slid to the side, and it was let a little man dump your can. So I was in your face. I was in your face, right? And so then the other thing was when they called here, customer service. You got a business, you need to understand customer service, right? It's not
Mhm.
necessarily about the customer's always right, but you need to make sure that the customer always gets the right impression. That's my feeling. The right impression that you care, the right impression that you're giving.
I think you got stuck for a second.
Yeah, it swirled around. I'm not sure if it's me or you. So the accurate information, it's that kind of night.
It is that night.
I expect that. I ain't say nothing bad just yet. So
No.
there'll be censorship coming through in a little
No.
bit. But
Crazy.
when you're creating this business, right? I said when someone calls, 99.9% of the time, it's going to be a woman, the office manager, the wife at home, the woman running the care center that needs garbage, the woman running the billing office, whatever it is, 99.9% of the time, the woman does the calling.
Yeah.
So we want her, when she called here, we want her to feel like, one, she's called the right place. Two, we don't hate our jobs, right? And three, whether it pertains to garbage or not, you call the place that could lead you somewhere. So when they call, I taught my staff, you answer that phone with a greeting, with a beautiful greeting, and you smile. Because if you're not smiling, this is how you talk. But when you smile, it's a whole different thing. So people say, why do you smile? Because I know it gives the right message. I want people to always feel heard and seen. And
Yes.
they called, it's good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How may I direct your call? You call a place and you start telling your whole story because you're frustrated. And then we're like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm sorry. let me hold on. Let me see if I could get somebody for you. Now you mad? You got to tell that story all over again.
Yeah.
I built my business based on my own personal needs and the needs
Mm,
of everybody else around me. I did everything in a team decision. What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? When that happens, how does that feel, right? No man
mhm.
is an island, and there is power in numbers. So when you have great minds putting together to make a magic potion, it's a beast. And I was a beast for 25 years. Um, so then when they answered, it was, how may I direct your call? So they already knew, don't tell your whole story because I'm about to send you somewhere. So you
Mhm.
alleviated that stress right off the bat. And if they were pissed off, guess what you did? You just calmed them down because, like, "Whew, I can't sit now. I got to find the person first, the next person that I might want to cuss out."
Oh, Lord.
Because people would call about the craziest things. So you had
Oh,
that sense of humor. The winds are 90 miles an hour out there. And I saw your man throw my lid in the fields. Really?
really?
Is that what you think they really did? So it's just stuff like that. So you had to know how to take some things, with a grain of salt. But the most important thing is to give the customer what they needed. Oh, well, I'd like garbage service, but my phone isn't working. I'm using my cell phone. I don't know who to call. Please hold. They pass it over to someone else. Oh, you need a phone. You need to set up your phone. Here's the information. So when you called us, you didn't get garbage service. You got a wealth of information. And
Right.
we would tell in closing, once whoever was the last person to help them, in closing, if there's anything else we can help you with, don't feel free to call us back. The owner's born and raised here. If they were born and raised, they would say, I'm born and raised here. We know everybody. So people would call us for, where's the best place to buy wine? Meanwhile, I'm picking up your garbage. So, and it was okay, but it kept us in people's memory. It was a real special customer service branding. I would see people in the streets and everybody, I love calling your office. Who loves calling to talk about trash? But people
Right.
would say, I love calling your office. And then the purple was really bold in people's face. That purple dumpsters. You see, as you travel, you see green, white, blue. So it was purple. People call and say, I want one of them purple things in my yard. I'm like, coming right up. $224 a month, if you don't mind. But it was just things like that. So, the business, I learned a lot through business, as I said, and I'm okay with saying this. I'm a college dropout, right?
Yeah.
And my major was pre-law, by the way.
Mhm.
So I'm a college dropout. I've done over $65 million in gross revenue, employed over 150 men, taken 10 women from welfare to work. And all I did was operate with a few basic things, some common sense, which isn't so easy to find today.
Oh,
Never being afraid to say, I don't know.
yes.
And always, I learned it a long time ago, and I learned it from network marketing because I'm a network marketing lover. I don't care who doesn't like it. That's a you problem. I love it because the person you hear speaking today, learn to speak this way by talking about products and services in other countries and giving hope. HOPE, helping other people excel. That's what I'm about. I'm a servant leader. I don't care if I'm picking up your garbage, I'm still serving you. If I'm helping you find a way through the muck in your life that you just can't get through, because that's what I do. I help you sort through the trash in your lives, AKA
Yeah.
self-limiting beliefs and blockers. And who puts them there? We do. We
Yeah.
do. We talk about haters. I hear people talk about haters. Passing no judgment. There's been one or two in my life, but there's been thousands of people. If only one or two in my life, I'm doing good, right?
You're doing good.
And so when people say, oh, those haters, that's us talking to ourselves. Let's be honest. Very few people will look you in the face, have a set of cojones, and be like, you dumb, you can't do this, you're ugly, you're too short, you're too fat, your hair's not long enough, your cheeks are too big, right? Nobody's saying that to us. That's what we're saying it to ourselves. I mean, I've never said that to myself. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
right?
There she goes.
No, I'm not the one who sits in videos and does this. Watch me take 20 years off my face,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I'm not the one who does that. I mean, somebody else taught me that. But
Yeah.
but there's no such thing as haters. And so we have to be honest with ourselves. And the day that we can step into honesty and say that there's something stopping me every time I go, something stops me. What is it? And if you don't know what it is, then you ask for help.
Yeah.
You ask for help because we were also, that's another deprogramming we have to do. And especially as women, but everyone has it, but women have it worse, right? Don't ask for help. Don't let people know your business. Girl, everybody got business under the bed, in the closet, around the corner, in a box on the shelf. Everybody has business. And, dressing things up to be so prim and proper and, oh, you shouldn't say this. Say what you feel as long as you're not hurting anyone else or
Yeah.
disrespecting anyone else. Because
Yeah.
we were all built uniquely different. I use words, I don't even know where they came from. But here's what I do know, that I've been given the gift to be able to communicate and speak to people through my compassion, my empathy, and my love for people. I look at every woman as though she is my mother until I see she's all right. Because people would look at my mother. My
Mm-hmm.
mother was 5'1". She did not play. She raised four boys and little old me. I tell my brothers my mother had four mistakes and then perfection. Right? But here's the thing. No one could look at her and tell how broken she was inside because
Yeah.
she was tough.
Yeah.
And she didn't take, if people think I'm tough, I'm not a pimple on her behind. You hear me? She was
Mm.
tough, but inside, she was seeking love. She was seeking someone to be faithful to her, to respect her, to meet her halfway. And she wasn't getting those things. But on the outside, she looked good. She was
Yeah.
mighty tough. Grab all the kids, take me and my friends to this place called Ice Caves Mountain. But inside, she was hurting. And, I found that out. 3 years ago, did a DNA test. I know some secrets she took to her grave with her. And I'm okay talking about that because there's somebody listening today. Because I'm the keep it real kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
There is somebody listening today that has secrets, or their mama has secrets, their grandmama had secrets that are affecting them today. And you have to realize that we carry around 7 generations of stuff.
Mm.
Sometimes we have a feeling and we don't know what that's
7.
about. 7 generations. I'm telling you. So somebody like, I'm just crazy. No, you're not crazy. Those are
Yeah.
genetics. My daughter, she has so many qualities of my mother. She never met her.
Mm-hmm.
Never met her, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
I just look and I want to shake my head because they both Sagittarius. That's all I'm gonna say about Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
They're both Sagittarius. But so here's and both my twin brothers are too. I'm surrounded by them. So here's the thing though. We can't be afraid to ask for help. And we have to remember that if they say iron sharpens iron. So
Yeah.
don't be afraid to get in the room with a sharp knife. Because when you leave, you're gonna be a little bit sharper. Come what may.
So, you're sharing all this, Shirley, and it's just like, how did you get to this point where you're so invested in making sure a woman is seen, valued, and heard? But you're also, talking about, like mindset and, kind of have mental health and our capacity to take in things. Like, what are some tips, if you will, that you would give to someone who's like, you know what, maybe she's talking to me, right? And I hear her, but what are some actionable steps that I can take today? To get myself out of. You say, yeah, ask for help, but what other things do you
So here's the
suggest?
first thing. If you I'm big on something that really, 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 hey, Char, I'm big on something that I really learned the power of in the last 3 years, how we met.
Yeah,
Get in a community of people.
yeah.
It's not always easy being with a group of women, right?
Hmm.
But you need to get with people so that you understand some things that you've been beating yourself up about. You are not the only one going through this stuff. You are not crazy. Okay, well, then, caveat, maybe 0.11% might be.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's got a little crazy in them.
Not me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, Lord.
But
No, she ain't saying the truth.
but here's the thing, right? Here is the thing what I'm talking about. You have to get in a group of community people, like-minded people. Now, I don't want to be in a group of yes man people, right?
Right.
I want to be in a group where people respect who I am, love and accept me for who I am, the way that I am, not try to
Mhm.
change me, tell me how to be, right?
Yeah.
But just allow me to be. Allow me to be. And it's inevitable I'm going to grow because I'm in a room of people with different ideas, different experiences. If you stay at home, nothing to say about married women. God bless you. I was married for 18 years. I don't know that that's ever for me again. I don't know. But anywho, Here's the thing. You can't just be stuck at home with your husband and your children. You lose you. You lose you. And there's nothing wrong with loving. If your man is good to you and he's good to your family, God bless him. Thank you for being good to my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But allow her to grow, because a woman is just a flower. And you know, the statement that they say that if you educate a man, you educate an individual, you educate a woman, you educate a community. Man, that is so true. Because we telling everybody,
We
we
do.
gonna share that information, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So when I learned something, so when you say some of the tips, when I started getting in communities, you know, people go back and look at my Facebook before COVID. I was like Al Roker. Where in the world is Shirley Felder right now? I was everywhere. I was like poop, because I wanted to learn and I couldn't learn in this little hole I was in.
Yeah.
And I wanted to grow, stretch, and learn. That's why I always use that phrase. And I would go in a group where nobody looked like me. I would go in a group where nobody talked like me. So I didn't have to worry about what people call competition, because I'm a unique individual. Ain't nobody like me, and I'm sure of that, right?
Yeah.
And there's nobody like you. And so stop thinking that, oh, there's competition. There is no if you are yourself. But if you start putting all these fake masks and pretending to be whoever, Betty Jean, Peggy Sue, Linda Ray, you start pretending to be them, you lose yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
you need to get in a group, in a community of people with like-minded, meaning forward thinkers, right? Meaning if you are Christian and there's that group, get with them. If you LGBTQ, get with them. I don't care, but find people who you have an affinity and an alignment with, and you will start to see that you have insight to share. That you're not as I hate the phrase, but you're not as dumb as you thought,
Mm-hmm.
and you're quiet because you didn't have a place to express yourself. Well, damn it, in your community, they're going to force you to, because
Yeah.
they're not going to let anybody just sit there, right? We build, right? In our group, we co-elevated, right? If there was somebody who we saw a gift, we drug it out of them. I got on the phone with 2 hours and be like, blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm gonna just be on here for a few minutes. There's nothing for a few minutes with us. 2.5, 3 hours, you know, I'm talking to people, getting to know them. And then I bring that back to the community. I say, listen, this new person's with us. They're amazing. They do this, they do that, bop, bop, bop. Next thing you know, when that opportunity comes, boom, they're growing and stretching and learning. So that's one thing. Find a
And
community.
then Charlene said a real community. So we
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want to make sure
yeah, for real.
that part.
Like, make sure. What's the phrase? Make sure they got papers, okay?
Right.
There's a lot of people.
Receipts.
Yeah,
Where
receipt.
your
There you go.
receipts at?
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Receipt. There are a lot of people who say, you know, they've done this, did that. And I know there's some people that might look and say, who is she? I'm 31 years. And Leslie would be proud of me because it's a brag, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm 31 years creating my own income, whether it's $1,000 today or 50 cents tomorrow. I did that. I have put food on the table, for helped other people put food on the table for their families, right? I have not punched a clock or worked for anyone in 31 years. And damn it, you can do it too. Now,
Yes.
another tip. So I dropped out of school. So I beat myself. I used to beat myself up about it. So what did I do? I read books, or I did audiobooks, because you know my attention span is short, but I spent a lot of time traveling. So in my car, audiobooks, right? They used to call it Ford education, right? Because you're in your car and you're listening to those tapes. Well, listen, I'm showing my age now, listening to those audio CDs. But and that's what I'm doing. So I'm learning. I'm going in places where people don't look like me, don't speak like me, so I can learn other ways. I'm going in cultures that may be a foreign language to me, but guess what? Remember, I said we have smartphones today, they translate.
Yeah.
So I had a business in the Dominican Republic. I do not speak Spanish. Okay. But they have translators, they have people who will translate for you, and then they have apps on your phones. There is
That's
no
right.
reason not to try and blend somewhere.
Yeah. And
Somewhere.
Charlene's like, you've built from the ground up. So most folks cannot say that, Shirley. And I'm going to share a conversation I had with another girl last night. She talked to me about Tupac's song, and Charlene's going to really, She's gonna really be impressed by how much I learned.
Uh-oh.
Because in his poem or one of his songs, he talks about the rose in the concrete. How did the rose grow up in the concrete? A rose, growing up in dirt and slab doesn't really have the light that you would necessarily think. But how did it get there? Right? And so you have really literally from the bottom up and didn't have what people have, like formal education, formal training, if you will. You just rolled up your sleeves and you went to work and you got it done. So, Charlene says reading opens you up so much.
Oh
It
yeah.
does.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Yes, I did it from the ground up, but I didn't have a choice. I had a baby. I had no mother. My father, he was absent, until I became older, and then I took care of him. But here's the thing. When you have a child, your life is no longer yours. I don't care if they don't like how we raise them. They have trauma, that's on them. They'll get over it because that's part of their perception because they don't like the rules. Now, there are some parents who aren't such great parents. But yes, Leslie, I had a why. I did not want my baby to experience what I experienced,
Mm.
right? And I
Mm-hmm.
never wanted to be a mother, to be honest. But, sometimes if you do things, you have a baby. That's all I'm going
Hey,
to say.
that's how it works.
I never wanted to have children because I thought the responsibility was way too big and
Yeah.
too much because I was left unattended way too many times, right? And
Mm.
all she could do was all she could do because she was broken. But I didn't know that until I became a mother. And when I became a mother, all that judgment I had for my mother, I took that stuff and literally put it in the garbage, okay? Because kids don't come with a book. Life be lifing. And 99.9% of the time, it's not going to work out the way it did on the story on TV. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
And so for me, I knew I bought this little thing in this world that I was responsible for. And so, what am I going to do to make for sure she doesn't run out of heat in her house, that the fuel man, doesn't drive by and say, "Do you have money today? I'm not putting it in." Right? That your pipes get frozen and you have to put steam in the house to do that. Many of those things happen to me, and I'm not afraid to say it. And
Mm-hmm.
even when I became a young mother, I was on social services. I went in for medical coverage, and the lady laughed at me when I said, "All I want is help." Um, for the medical doctor, for the medical bills. And then after I have her, I'll get a job and I'll pay it back. What's the payment plan? The lady laughed at me and said, "Oh, no, we'll give you food stamps. We'll give you," I said, "No, I just need medical help. I'll need all of that." And and yes, it was my pride in the way, but I also remember what my mother had to go through. And that building hasn't changed. I took a lady up there last week, and you
Mm.
have to go into a building where there's little partitions, and you're
Mm-hmm.
telling your sad story about needing help, not having food for your children, not getting child support, struggling, just lost your job, can't pay your electric bill, and everybody else can hear. And I remember that when I went in there with her 2 weeks ago, just a week ago, what am I saying? It was like, oh my God, deja vu. I was back and I felt my chest like beating hard. And I was like, this is so, I don't know the right word, but you just feel so, if you already feel bad, you feel worse having to tell your story to someone who's talking to you like you're stupid, not
Mm-hmm.
having any empathy, right? Then everybody else can hear your story.
Yeah.
So I said, I will never, ever let that happen to me. It is. And so I had two jobs when I had her because I
Mm.
had a why, and that was to give her a better life. And
Yeah.
then I ended up getting a stepdaughter, raising a niece, and adopting four boys. So I raised seven kids, but I only birthed one. And I may not have been the best parent, but I could tell you what, their life is different because I was in it. And I'm okay saying that too.
Yeah.
Because they got a taste of real life. No candy coating, no decorations.
Mm-hmm.
It was faux real because I remember my mother saying to me when I was little, "You better tie your shoes. I'm not going to be with you all your days." And I used to hate when she would say that. I would hate it. And I'd look at her and she's like, "Yeah, you know how them Southern mamas are." And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
shut up and tie my shoe.
That's right.
But guess what? Here I am. She left me
Mm-hmm.
and she wasn't here with me all my days. So she was preparing me,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone in my home could cook and clean, knew their duties. My kids came, they may not have wanted to work the business as they were getting older, but
Yeah.
any one of my kids could have stepped into my business and did whatever I needed done for the day.
Right.
Right. And so I did everything I could to show them the way I knew. May not be the way your girlfriend's, mamas did it, or your buddy's mamas did it, but the best way I knew to give you the best example, you
Yeah.
know. But I don't want to get off the beaten path. I get a little passionate about my why was important. And Leslie reminded me of that. I had a why to make a better life for my child. And then I
Yeah.
had a bigger why to make a better life for the children that I had said, give me, I'll take care of them.
Yeah.
Right. And so these little people are looking at you, and there are other people looking at you, and there are people looking at you. And I say this all the time. There are people looking at you that you don't even know. I
Yeah.
go, I go in my local grocery store, and people call me the Facebook queen. Then they call me the TikTok girl. And I'm like, they ain't never liked none of my stuff. Who are they?
The
Right?
girl, they looking.
They looking. And so I'm not doing things for other people. My
Yeah.
sense of humor is my sanity. It is for me. Right? Because though I'm smiling, though I may be funny, shit happens to me too. I also
Mhm.
went bankrupt. So I've been rich, I've been poor, rich, poor, rich, poor, on a roller coaster ride. But that's the life of an entrepreneur also. You take chances,
You
right?
do take chances.
You can go get a job and work for the government, and that used to be secure, but it ain't secure anymore because as soon as they need layoffs or something's cut
Mhm.
back, you're gone, right? So you need
Mhm.
plans to do things. So anyway, so for me, it is just so important that the community is important. Reading is important, right? And then, another thing is you see these little workshops pop up all the time. You give them, all of our friends give them. I'm going to be giving them super soon. And you look at it and say, "Oh, I'm not going to pay that $97. What they going to teach me?" I bet you they'll teach you something you didn't know.
Mhm.
And the main thing is what you didn't know about you. Forget
Yeah.
what you can get some knowledge out of a book. I mean, and these little smartphones right here, you can get lots of knowledge out of that. Okay, just ask it. I had lunch with a girlfriend last week, and my godson is 8, going to be 9. And he said to me, "And Shirley, what is the scariest bird you've ever had an experience with?" So I'm looking at him. I haven't seen him in a while. And I'm like, "You 8 talking about my experiences? Like, what is that?" Like, so I said, "Well," I thought, and I said, "A bat." He about rolled his eyes to the back of his head and back around and looked at me and said, "Did you really say that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bats are scary." He's like, "And Shirley, bats are not birds. They're mammals."
Oh.
So I'm like, "You got to be kidding me. Did this little kid just show me up?" Right? So
Yeah,
I
that's
got
what
my
happens nowadays.
phone and I said, "Google." Right? I said, "Are bats birds?" And first thing came up bold. He's sitting right next to me. We're having lunch. And it said, "Bats are not birds. They are mammals." And he said, "Will you believe and trust me now?" Okay. So those are the experiences. I need one nugget from any workshop. Absolutely. So here, going back to that, is the key to being able to get to a point of close to what I am. First, you got to remember, I'm 32 years in personal development. And
Mhm.
it started with Amway, network marketing,
Oh yeah.
where people are teaching you how to be able to stand up inside of yourself and believe what you believe. Forget what everybody else is saying, right? Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it,
Mhm.
right? So I learned personal development then, and I've been doing it ever since. And so the thing is, when you go to these workshops, it's really about working on you. There are questions that you'll get asked or things you need to fill out. And you're like, "I don't even know." I went, a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, went with a workshop to my girlfriend. I did not want to go, by the way, to this one. because I'll be dealing with talking about past lives and all that stuff. It get a little extreme. Well, let me say, then I didn't. Now it's my thing, okay?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I learned. So I learned. So I went, I agreed. She took me, screaming and dragging me. I go to this place, beautiful place, and people talk to you about people who have passed on. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, really? You got me in this place? And
Mhm.
some of the strangest things happen. We don't have enough time for it. But all I know is that they knew things they had no business knowing because they wasn't in my house. Right.
Mm.
And then we kept moving from setting to setting, in a building, in a garden, in the pet cemetery around the corner. And everywhere they would say, oh, this dog is barking. I'm like, now they all trained to say that. This is some BS over here. Right. And then I go to the bathroom with my girlfriend, Jackie. And the lady who talks to the past, to the people from the past, she comes over and she says to my girlfriend, I'm in the bathroom, you think I can come to your friend? Because they have to ask you, can they talk to you? And
Mhm.
she's like, oh, yeah. And I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm staying there. But they can't see me. I'm in the stall shaking my head. No, I'm not coming out. But I realized, women's lines are so long. So I had to hurry up and come out. And the lady
Yeah,
says,
yeah.
may I come to you? And I was like, huh? And Jackie hit me. She's like, you heard her. I was like, yeah, yeah. And she starts telling me, you don't have to go back to school. Your mother is proud of you just the way you are. And you are not your brother's keeper. And oh my God, this dog. And I said, oh, this is a setup. They talking about a dog again. And she said, did you have a dog? So I was being a smarty. It's like, everybody has a dog. She's like, well,
Mhm.
not everybody. Well, what was your dog's name? I said, I don't know. You should be able to see the dog. I was being a smarty pants. I was going to prove her wrong. She
Uh-huh.
said, does your dog have a white star under his neck? Did your dog? I was like,
Oh
I was
no.
done. My dog did. My dog. She
Wow.
described my dog to me. And I was not going to that workshop because it was crazy talk. Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, that was my dog and the spirit of my dog. And she's
Yeah.
like, would you just say the dog's name? And I said my dog's name, Spoochie. And she was like, oh my God. And you heard other people on the microphone around saying, oh my God, the dog has stopped. And I'm looking at Jackie like, are you kidding me right now? So I learned there that there are things I don't know that I
Yeah.
can learn to accept because I don't
Yeah.
know everything. I don't know diddly squat.
Yeah.
And I'm open to learn and receive. And
Yeah.
so in these workshops, you learn. And how I got to this point is, you said you attended a workshop with me.
Yeah.
I didn't know that doing what I love doing is called my passion purpose until I went to a Jack Canfield workshop.
Mhm.
And it was $179.
Yeah.
And I was like, now what am I going to go see that this man is going to teach me?
Mhm.
Then I realized it was Jack Canfield, Chicken Soup for the Soul. So let me go on and
Yeah.
learn something. Because I read all of those books and I went and I learned the passion purpose statement. I was like, oh my God. Like 3 sentences sums up what I want to do when I grow up and what makes me feel so passionate about. And I'm like a kid in a candy store as I'm talking about it. And yesterday I was working with another coach, Coach Spoonface, and we're talking about some upcoming
Mhm.
projects. And he was like, Shirley, what is it that you do with and for people that makes them say, I'm signing up for that workshop with her? And I said, all I can say is I'm passionate. I'm authentically myself, and I speak the truth as I know it. And I
Mhm.
don't decorate and put fancy words on it to make it seem like everything is perfect. Shit gets deep. Life
Yeah.
is hard. Life be
Yeah.
life. But
Life,
here,
life.
when you get in community, when you read, when you attend workshops and conferences, and even at your job, things for you to grow, stretch, and learn, whatever it is, when you attend that, you are feeding your soul. You're
Mhm.
finding what makes you warm and fuzzy inside and smiles on the outside.
Yeah.
And so you have to go through I went through a series of these different things because as a young mother, I struggled not having a mother. Being a
Yeah.
woman in business in a male dominated industry where they burn your truck, where guys thought you were stupid and didn't know anything, right? And try to out talk you or think they could
Mhm.
intimidate you. They didn't know I had 6'4" brothers and a crazy ex-husband at the time, right? They just thought I was little tiny me, but I would cuss them all out, right? If I had.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but all those things at the end of the day, yes, I showed up. I was ready, duking every morning. And then I get home and I want to cry because it would just wear you out.
Yeah.
And then I had to cook, feed the kids, look at their homework, and
Yeah.
then talk about life and
Yeah.
do it all over again with a
Yeah.
two-way radio by the head of my board.
Yeah.
25 years. So,
I don't know how you did that, but I'm glad you did. And the reason why I say that is because when we are in careers or businesses or something that's long, it's a long game, right? You learn so much in the long game. It can be a little bit taxing, but then you do reflection, and I've done a lot of reflection since I retired. And you can come out of that and say, I did that. You know what I mean? Like, I did that. Yes, people were helping me. There were people along the way, but at the end of the day, you were making decisions real time and understanding what those decisions were. What were the secondary and the third order effects to the decisions that you were making, not only through the business, but with the family life. And so a lot of us, as you know, the audience is mostly women who view us every Sunday, is understanding that we do have those things within us, but we have to find the harmony. All right. I'm not going to say balance because balance is not a thing for me. I never had balance. I had to integrate a lot of different strategies through which to make sure that my responsibilities at work were getting taken care of, responsibilities at home were taken care of, and then responsibilities to myself because we had to take care of ourselves. So what types of strategies did you use throughout that? You're talking about 25 years of just working this business, getting into it, and then seeing yourself now as you are today. Are there any things that you kind of point to that you are like, yeah, I got that right? And yes, that's worked for me that maybe can work for some of our people in the audience.
let me say this. I got a lot of things right, but I want to talk about what I did wrong.
Mm,
Okay. And
let's do that.
let me tell you why I want to talk about what I did wrong, because those are where I learned the best lessons. So my business was, when I tell you, was badass and very successful for 18 years. I did not make a mistake. I dotted every I crossed every T, I filled out every form. I OD'd on doing it right and big. Okay. Too afraid that somebody might find out I didn't have an education, or I didn't have a bachelor's or a master's in business, right? Or I couldn't add diddly squat even with a calculator because that wasn't my expertise. Communication and customer service is, right? And
Mhm.
building a team. That's what I do best. I know how to build teams. So for me, it took me 18 years to make a mistake.
Mm.
Had I made it at year 5,
And what
another
was
one
it?
at
What
year
was that?
You know, so this is gonna, I'm gonna say the best way I know how. First of all, as an entrepreneur, when you have employees, you are nothing but hot air in a dream, and you need a team to see it through. You had a crew out there in that field, and if you didn't have them having your front line and back line, you were SOL.
Mhm.
Okay. So I had dreams and ideas the way that I wanted to see things. And I would come back to my team. I had a great staff, at many times different staff, but I had great staff. I would come out, say, I want a brochure this way. I want a letter this way. Check out the rules and laws this way and see how much it's going to cost. And we sit right in this group, right in this room right here. And we would come up with a master plan. When I walked out that door, I was as bad as I want to be, ready to go do it. Okay. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, no matter how much I paid them, no matter how many uniforms or tie-dye purple shirts they were not Shirley Felder. And so
Mm.
they did not have the respect and the lifestyle that I had on the outside with people. And so I assumed that my mission and my vision was ingrained in them too, and I can entrust them when in my absence to operate like me. That wasn't fair of me, because they didn't make my salary, and they weren't Shirley when they went places. They were
Mm.
Shirley's employee or Shirley's niece or Shirley's driver, right? So I I felt I got excited, thought I had arrived. That's what it was. I thought I had arrived. And then I put everything in their hands. It wasn't their dream. Their dream was to get a damn paycheck,
Mhm.
to be a part of the Purple family. And I left my dream in their hands, and I didn't come back to check on it.
Mm.
So we can't get comfortable. As soon as you are comfortable, get the hell out. Stay uncomfortable. Because if you stay uncomfortable, you're going to stay making the money. You're going to stay on the cutting edge. You're going to stay being curious, Leslie's favorite word, right?
Yep.
So don't get comfortable. You have never arrived, damn it, until the day you in that casket. You've arrived there.
Right. That's
And
true.
I got comfortable and I wanted to start to expand to my talking and my motivation and stuff. So year 18 is when things started to break down, but I was loving, I had a passion for helping other women start businesses, for helping other women find themselves the way I did through workshops.
Mm.
And I didn't care about nobody's garbage being picked up no more. They had it. Call the
Yeah.
office. Call the office. But it wasn't their dream and their passion. I left it in their hand. They did the best they could with what they had. And I wouldn't have had anything without them. So I'm not blaming them. You know what? Shit rolls from the head down. I
Mm-hmm.
was the head. So it was my fault. It was on my watch time. So,
Mm-hmm.
so that's another thing, so that, when you say, what would you talk about? Keep learning.
Yeah.
I used to travel to California, to Canada, to recycling workshops and learning about like how they make things because I never knew that stuff. I just went in business and bought my brother out and said, "All right, I'm doing this thing now." And I had no training on garbage or anything else, but I learned about recycling and I learned about trucks and I learned how to do all these things, which makes me who I am today. I was in the lumber industry, I was in the hotel restaurant industry, I was in the garbage industry, but all in all, I'm in the people industry. And all
Yeah.
I want to do is help people recycle their lessons learned and turn them into their purpose and passion because life doesn't have to be as hard as we make it.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love, the story and thank you for sharing and being very transparent about it because it's true. Even Leslie chimed in because she says absolutely totally agree. That is why I closed my daycare. No one has your vision as you do, you
Yes.
know. And sometimes we do get very comfortable with what we're doing, especially when we've been doing it for a very long time. It's almost like you can do it with your eyes closed. Like I already know what it's gonna look like. I know the scenario. I know, what the outcome's gonna be. So guess what? That's how we're gonna do it, right? But we do have to stay relevant. We have to stay, like you said, Leslie's favorite word, curious. We have to be asking a lot of questions. We have to be going to places where we never gone before. We have to be with people who we've never would even dreamed of talking to. We have to do these things in order for us to feel like we are, and I love to use the word empowered. This is empowerment, right? We empower ourselves with information and knowledge constantly, frequently, and getting out of our spots and our silos, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, all of what you shared with us is just absolutely golden. These are gems, of course, that we're putting out, and so you now have your business and it's called Ordinary Greatness.
Correct.
And you have been in and out because you've acknowledged you've been in and out of it, but
Absolutely.
here over the past couple of years or so, I have seen it, and it's you're now getting back into it. So what was the catalyst, what was the starting point for you to get back into what you enjoy doing that you kind of put on pause for a minute?
Well, let me tell you, I didn't put it on pause. I let it scare me on pause. Again, I'm going to always
Mm.
be honest. As passionate as I am, and sometimes I've heard myself speak afterwards because I record everything and listen to critique it, to pick it apart to death, right? And so, as passionate as I am, as many people come up to me after I've talked and say, "Oh my God, that was great. You were great. That was good information." I get home and be like, "Oh, I don't think you did that right. You are not smart enough. Those people in
Mm.
that room did not care about it. Oh, those men in the suits over there, they weren't paying you any attention. Why are you wasting your time? You better find another career." And I spent a lot of time doing that. And until
Mm.
3 years ago, when we found each other, Leslie and I found each other on Clubhouse, that week that she tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Do you want to do a morning room with me for 15 minutes?" We chuckle at that. um, that morning, I was like, you know what? I can't find my tribe. I don't think I'm good at motivational speaking. I don't
Mhm.
think people care about what I have to say. I don't think people are going to pay me to talk, because one of my brothers said, people actually pay you and want to hear you talk, right? He didn't say that after I showed him that $10,000 check, though.
Right.
He didn't say that anymore.
Of course
But
he did.
anyway, so that was the thing. I found my tribe.
Yeah.
I found my tribe, people who accepted me with all my craziness, all my stories, all my experiences, all my cuss words, all my perversion, but all my truth, all my authentic self showing up in a room. People loved me, trust me, and inspired me and pushed me along. Today I did a little thing today with Sine. I was like, ooh, how do I share with my friends? Because technology is not really my favorite thing. I'm not gonna say I don't do it anymore. I can't say it. It's not
Yeah,
really
because
my
you be
favorite
doing
thing.
it.
So I called her and I said, do you still have that thing where I could send to people and let them know what I'm doing? She's like, yes, but I'm not at home near a computer. So here's what you're going to do. And she walked me through the process. So
Yeah.
so you'll see later that on my Facebook, I took a picture of us and put an ad in my www.shirleyfelderonline.com. You click on it, took you right to the YouTube. I did that.
I can't believe you. I mean, no, I'm
I
not
did
gonna
that.
say I can't believe you did that. I like
Oh, you can't
no.
believe that I gave in to do
Yeah,
it. That's what
right.
you said.
Just say it.
Right. I know Leslie's over there shouting, clapping, so is Charlene. But
You
it
were
was
doing the
last
most.
yeah, and so I did that. And so, but I found my community. That's why I say find your tribe. Find the people who accept you for who you are.
Yeah.
Holy shoes and all.
Yeah.
Right? Hair not done at all.
Yeah.
Needing a new color, needing some lipstick, something. Just get them, find a room where people say, come on in, girl. I got some deodorant for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Find them.
Yeah. And
So,
and you know what? And I think that, and I'm going to just speak for, us that have been in that space for 3 years. Every one of us has progressed and moved forward in some certain form fashion. If it's not in business, it's in your personal. If it's not in a personal, it's from a new way of looking at how do you go about doing the day, if you will. And you see the growth, and because people are encouraging one another, hey, you got it, hey, you can do this, hey, what are you going to think about when you do the event? I remember I had Cookie, who's one of the women in our group, and she came to my first event and she was coaching me through the event. Like, what are your goals? What are you doing here? How do you want this to look like? And it was like that support and that, just having people behind you, really having that crowd, if you will, a small crowd to celebrate you even through all the even failures that we've all had, because we've all had some sort of failure, but we've learned they were not really failures. There are a lot of lessons
you have
learned. So
wins or lessons.
yes,
Wins or
yes,
lessons, right?
yes.
And I say I got a lot of ass whoopings. I got a lot of them.
Yeah, and I know we
Of the
all
people.
have, and we sometimes we don't look at those as wanting to be proud of, but be proud of the way you had the opportunity. I look at it, everything as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to really see how you're made. What are you made of? Reaching your fullest potential every single time, and like
For sure.
coming out of there with scars and cuts and bruises and all the things, and going, you know what, but I made it. I figured it out. So I absolutely love our conversation. I know we've been in here for over an hour, and I knew we were going to be, because that's just the way it is,
That's how we
right?
roll. That's how we roll. Well, when you say, I just want to say this. When you say that, these lessons and wins and learns, here is another thing that I want to give to anyone listening today. So if you are listening today and you are saying, I'm frustrated, I want more out of this life. There's things that I want to do that I haven't done yet, or I'm not built for this. I can't do this. Let me tell you this. Look over your left shoulder, right? Just look over your left shoulder with me. And those are the things that you had to come through. See them body parts, them bumpers, them tree limbs, them bricks and stones maybe some people threw at you, right? There's a couple of wigs back there too, right? There's some folks you had to go through, some shit you had to go through. And then you look over to your right, and those are the people that have been cheering you along all along. Even when you said, I can't do that, or I'm not built for that, or I don't know how to write that thing, or I'm not a writer. I say I'm not a writer. I've been speaking all my damn life, right?
Yeah,
I'm
you
working
are.
on my I'm work thanks to Leslie, I'm working on my 3rd book now, right? And
Yeah.
my 3rd collaborative book. I didn't want to be a writer. I wanted to be a comedian. First a lawyer. When that failed, I wanted to be a comedian. And then I
But
ended
you know
up
what?
being a drug
I'm gonna say this, Shirley Ann. You're a communicator, all right? And
Yes,
communicate in several different modes: speaking, writing, just your presence, if you will. So you are a true communicator. So once you start to understand that for yourself, of course, you produce books. You have books
I
in you
like
all
to,
day.
I like to say, I'm single. I'm throwing that out there. I was gonna. And so I
Ah,
like to
y'all,
say,
she's single, y'all.
so when when I'm dating or on these sites and men ask me what's special about me, I say one thing for sure. Don't play with me because I'm a master communicator. If you don't speak, I'm not your girl.
Yeah,
Because we're gonna talk about it.
yeah,
Everything. There are no secrets that lie under pillows, rocks, boxes, and books up around here. Because it needs to be all out so that we can understand each other. And if you live your life like that, now I'm not saying you need to put all your stuff out there like I do, but I am who I am because I don't want any misunderstandings, no misrepresentations around her, right? But I know for sure that if you walk out your home every day and just become a better you,
yes.
can nobody touch you because there's
No,
nobody like you.
yeah, I
People say,
agree.
"Oh, you remind me of," let's stop lying. Ain't nobody like me. You
Yeah, that's the
ain't
hell
nobody
to
crazy
say.
out
You
here
must
like
have got a
you.
twin or something. No, just me.
Yep, exactly, exactly. But I enjoy what we do, and I think a lot of us that gathered, it's the passion for us, right,
Yeah,
to help other women because we've seen many people who got left on the wayside,
yeah,
and it's not fair, and it's not right, and we can't save them all. But damn it, if I get one a day, I'm a winner. One a
yeah,
day, I'm a winner.
yeah,
And and I don't know what I'm gonna do when I grow up, by the way. But
yeah.
all I know is I'm gonna keep doing this because good things keep coming to me. And if it ain't broken, I ain't fixing it. Love me, leave me, or let me be.
That's right. Y'all just heard it from Shirley Ann Felder. She is a CIO of Ordinary Greatness. She is a best-selling author and she is a coach, all right, who will get you straight in a minute. If you're needing anything from her. So I know we've been here, like I said, and we're gonna wrap this all up so y'all can enjoy the rest of your evening. So before we leave, Shirley Ann, please let them know where they can find you because you're everywhere. So where are you
I'm
exactly?
on I'm on Facebook, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok under my full name, Shirley Ann Felder.
Hmm.
On Instagram, I'm Big Mama Cheryl _ Ordinary Greatness. And you know where to find me. And I'm on if I put a little link in there, click it so I know that it worked because I impressed myself today, but it's www.shirleyfelderonline.com. And holler at me. I'm here. I'm a servant leader. I don't work for free anymore. I used to. I don't do that anymore. I'm a public service announcement.
Yeah,
Um,
gotta
but
put it
I'm
out there.
here. But I'm here, and advice costs me nothing. Sharing a story, listening to you costs me nothing because everyone on the face of this planet deserve to be heard and listened to and respected.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your mentorship, your friendship, and your leadership. Okay, because it's not easy, and everybody thinks that you could just pick it up and go. No, there's a lot of reps that get that. There's a lot of reps, and so you've taken those reps in, and you are still standing, and we love you for that. And thank you to all of our people who came here live, all our audience members. We had Leslie, of course, Kim, Chevy, Charlene, and who else put in comments here? And that was about it. But anyone who comes back and does a replay, put in hashtag replay on the comments. And every Sunday, well, selected Sundays. We are back here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be back here next Sunday. So make sure that you are here because you do not want to miss my next guest. All right. I'm always looking out for us, making sure that we are growing, we are being inspired, informed, and educated on all the things that Slay is all about. Okay, so keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. Thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you all next Sunday.
Thank you again, Slay.
You're welcome.
And for those of you who are following on my Facebook, if you're not following Slay, you need to check her out. This woman spent, and I know she didn't say this, and she's trying to close up, but this is how I roll. She spent 30 years serving our country, came back after 30 years, and now she is serving the women of this country. And so, if you are a veteran, if you've served, a wife of a veteran, a military woman, you need to check this woman out because she is a beast, but she is a beautiful, beautiful, incredible human being with a lot of style, class, and finesse.
Oh gosh, I don't even know how to take that, but thank you. I'll say thank you because with that we practice on getting compliments and so forth and taking that in. So I thank you so much for noticing me. I'll say that.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Have a great day, everyone.
All right, see y'all later. Bye.